Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 8-game NBA main slate on Monday. Before I get into the video, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, and I do make videos for NBA Top Shot as well. If you're unable to watch this YouTube video, I also upload an Apple Podcast with a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer then at patreon.com an esports package, which includes Call of Duty and CSGO, as well as an NBA package. And then finally, I want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode. If this is your first time watching the videos or you're not familiar with Prize Picks, the idea is you take over/under on fantasy points. So Prize Picks will post fantasy projections throughout the day. Right now, they have 8 players. A lot more will be posted throughout the day, as I said. And these will move. So if you see one that's a little bit too high, a little bit too low, you should hop on that now. Like, for example, Russell Westbrook, just 55 seems a little bit low against the Pacers. I mean, he is just like a plug and play every night. DraftKings just refuses to move his price. I'm not sure why. So yeah, that's one. Obviously, like I think I like the over there. Sabonis on the opposite side, you can make the argument for sure. He went for like 75 and 3/4. But yeah, it's a fun change of pace from DraftKings. You're not playing against anyone. You're playing against the house. You can mix and match sports too. They have everything you can think of. So if you guys want to sign up, you can just go DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word. Link down below. You get 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you get $200 to play with. And before we hop in the video, I just want to thank you guys again for all of your support. Again, we're averaging close to 400 viewers in the live streams. Videos getting a lot of love as well. So if you do enjoy this content, please leave a like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos you know when I live. But we'll be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check it out. And let's aim for 150 likes on this. All right, so before we talk about the 8-game slate here, we got to look back lineup here from Sunday. And this week for NBA is literally like makes me want to pull my hair out, man. It has been the most stressful, frustrating, tilting week of all time. Just to start the week off, like all these random blowouts. Then it was the injury slate about 2 or 3 days ago. I forget which slate it was. And then today, injury slate again for me. And blowout with the Lakers. So, low-owned Halliburton on pace for a massive game, on pace for 45-ish, gets injured early in the third quarter. Just so annoying. I can get out of the way so you guys can see. But I used 4 Spurs guys with Rudy Gay, Lonnie Eubanks, and Keldon Johnson. We get that Spurs starting lineup like 3 minutes before lock. That was also so frustrating because I didn't have time to update everyone. Told people in the Discord, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take out Malachi Flynn. I want to take a shot in a low-owned LeBron because I thought he would play. Did get a low-owned LeBron, but he does absolutely nothing. Lakers get killed by a Raptors team basically resting everyone. We're all idiots for not wanting to stack the Toronto Raptors against the best possible defense in the NBA. So, stack Siakam, stack Lowry, right? They both went for like 60+, of course. Luka Doncic, again, the absolute chalk, is as spun up as he should have been, and he busts, just typical the way the NBA is going right now. Goes for 80 last time. First time I faded him in a while. Hop back on. Bust. And gets ejected. Also, if you played Malachi Flynn, he was very popular in the high dollar stuff. About 30 to 35% owned. 0 of 7. 1 board, 1 assist. He was someone I was on until the last second when I made that pivot to get LeBron James in. Just didn't matter. Now, the funny thing is, if Halliburton does get injured here, I'm probably cashing. So, also, we got a few more things to tilt about here. Can someone explain to me how Luke Walton still has a job? Please. Marvin Bagley. Minutes limit. Let's play in 35 minutes. I mean, that's just a joke, right? That's the type of stuff that frustrates me to no end. Because, like, you're obviously not going to be super excited about a Marvin Bagley on a minutes limit who played 20 minutes the last game. I'm thinking, okay, we get 20 to 25 minutes out of Bagley. He's more of a secondary play. And he plays 35 minutes. Like, that's the type of stuff that along with injuries and random blowouts, it literally, I'm just so mad, so upset about that. Again, Luke Walton, like a Rick Carlisle, not sure why they're still employed. I play Rashawn Holmes, picks up 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes, also plays like 20 minutes. A guy that usually plays like 30 to 35 when he's fully healthy. That was also very frustrating. Just, again, a week that I want to forget. Random blowouts, injuries, stuff that you can't predict. Like, it just, that just sucks. So enough of the ranting, guys. You can tell I'm not too happy. But all right, we got 8 games to talk about here. So Pacers and Wizards. On the Pacers side, everyone is currently questionable. So hard to say right now. If everyone that's questionable is out, I think Domantas Sabonis becomes a really good play in a fantastic matchup. Goes for 75 in 3 quarters. He had a triple-double at halftime. 26, 14, and 19 for Domantas Sabonis. So I do like him there at the top. I think LeVert is viable for sure. If there's no Brogdon, he'll be the number 2 on offense. And then you have Valley plays. Brissett, be careful because he's crushed because he's gotten like all the blowout run last couple games. So he's also priced up to almost 7K now. A little bit weary of that. Sumner continues to play and continues to leave at like halftime for injury. I'm just not taking a shot. He's left back-to-back games due to injury. McDermott, if he starts, is viable 4K. So that's where I'm at for the Pacers. If everyone that's questionable is in, then it's probably maybe just Sabonis for me. On the Wizards side, again, Westbrook, I just don't understand. Like, why does DraftKings not move his price? He's clearly a guy that should be around 12K plus. And they just keep him at 11K, and he's continued to be, the absolute chalk every slate. And I agree, like, he is the best spend up of the slate in a great matchup. Like, I don't see why his price isn't moving. It's the same story with Washington. Westbrook's going to be the absolute chalk. You can use Beal as a contrarian pivot. Maybe something happens to Westbrook, but that's about it. The center rotation, the same thing. Scott Brooks, how can you trust him? Another one that's like, how is he still employed? I'm not sure. Daniel Gafford, I play him here against the Spurs. He plays 15 minutes. Other games here, 27, 22, 25. So that's a lot of fun. Again, he could play 15. He could play 25. If he plays 25, that's probably going to have a really good day. Orlando and Detroit. Orlando, a lot of guys still out here. Cole Anthony had a big game last game, but seems about right. Carter Jr., Mo Bamba going to split the 7 minutes. Both are just secondary options for me. We have like gross value like Dwayne Bacon and Gary Harris that are in play. Both started the last game. Bacon had the good game, but again, he's very, very reliant on the scoring. You could say the same thing about Gary Harris. Mo Wagner started. He played 34 minutes. If he starts again, I think he's still a decent value. Don't expect 36 again, but like Wagner's actually a decent point per guy. So do have some interest in him, and if he starts. And then probably, like RJ Hampton at 4-4. Did play 30 minutes the last game. I think he's at least worth a look, but don't expect 41 fancy points again from him. On the Detroit side, so once again, they're resting all the main veterans. So we have an interesting situation here. I have Isaiah Stewart and Saddiq Bey at very similar prices. And I think Saddiq Bey is going to come in higher ownership because of recency bias. I mentioned that with Tatum today, at almost a 10K price. Like, hey, I prefer Jaylen Brown at way lower ownership. It's going to be kind of the same thing here with Saddiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. I think because of last game for Saddiq Bey going for 48 fancy points, he's going to be higher owned than Isaiah Stewart. I prefer Isaiah Stewart. He got in foul trouble. He's historically been the better point per guy than Saddiq Bey. So give me Stewart actually over Saddiq Bey. Both are fine options. Again, both are going to play decent minutes. Josh Jackson as well played 35 minutes, shot 2 of 10, but he's a guy that has some upside. Killian Hayes started last game, played 32 minutes. I think he's a fair value play at 5.2. And then the rest of the Pistons, like Sekou starts, he's so bad. He is so bad. Like Tyler Cook will get some minutes too off the bench. Really, the guy I'm looking to off the bench is Frank Jackson, but now the price is up to 4.7. Doesn't really stand out. I think he's a fine secondary play, but the price did jump up. So that's where I'm at for the Pistons. Golden State and New Orleans. So Wiggins, Oubre's out. Wiggins is currently questionable. So we'll start with, I guess, Bazemore at 5.2. Assuming he starts again, I think he's once again a pretty good play. Should play 30-35 minutes. Is a decent point burning guy, so I do like Bazemore there. Steph Curry for sure in play for tournaments. Do I play him in cash games? Probably not. Would rather get to Westbrook at almost identical price, who just has more of the peripheral stats. Where Steph Curry, yes, he can do the peripheral stats, but a little more reliant on the scoring. But again, still like him for GPPs. Draymond Green at 7K, I think is a pretty solid play here. Should play 35-ish minutes in a close game. A guy that has triple-double upside. This is an up-tempo game here, so I do like Draymond. And then if Wiggins is out, I'm curious to see what they do to the starting lineup. Do they move Juan Toscano Anderson? Do they move Jordan Poole in? My guess would be Jordan Poole if he does start at 4.5K. For sure, in play for value. The issue with Jordan Poole a little more reliant on the scoring, though. They could also start Michael Mulder. I guess I've started him a couple times. Do I trust Mulder? Not really. But yeah, keep an eye on the starting lineup if there's no Wiggins. And Looney, you know what Looney is. So play 25-ish minutes and probably get you 15 to 20-ish fancy points. All right, so let's move on to New Orleans. Zion Williamson at the top at 10K. I think once again will go a little bit overlooked, but still think he's a solid spend up. Should play 35-plus minutes. Good matchup here. So good going to Zion for tournaments. Ingram, I'll pass on. Lonzo Ball, mentioned really like him. Last night went for 67 fancy points. I like him again here, even at 7.8. Again, he's a guy that has triple-double upside. A good matchup here. So Lonzo, I think, is still a pretty solid play at that price. And then keep an eye on Steven Adams news. If he is currently out, we can look to like Willie Hernan-Gomez at 5.2. Probably starts and plays about 30 minutes. He got in foul trouble last game, but yeah, if there's no Steven Adams, you can take a shot on Hernan-Gomez. Also, like if Hernan-Gomez gets in foul trouble, it's Jackson Hayes that comes in. I expect about, 15 to 20 minutes off the bench for him, maybe a little bit more if there's foul trouble for Hernangomez. So don't completely rule out Jackson Hayes as a contrarian value play. Portland, Atlanta, this is a game that I think you would definitely stack. I mean, Portland right now is getting in all shootouts. So we'll start with Lillard and CJ at the top. Both like a good amount for tournaments. Both had good games today in a tough match against Boston. This is an easier matchup, so that means they'll probably bust the way NBA has been going. But yeah, Lillard, CJ like both a good amount here for GPPs. And you guys know I am always high on Yusuf Nurkic. Who had another pretty solid game there against Boston, went for 40 fantasy points at low ownership. Again, he's going to play about 30 minutes. So I do like Nurkic once again. With Powell, with Covington, I mean, they can get hot behind the three-point line, but they're a little bit riskier. On the Atlanta side, Trey Young, I do like a decent amount here for tournaments. He's just going to play big minutes, right? He's going to play about 35-plus minutes. He has, a guy that can have, the floor of the assists, and when he's scoring the ball, he has that ceiling. So I do like Trey for GPPs. Also, Capella, probably not a cash game play, but definitely viable for tournaments. Should play 30 to 35 minutes. He has been a, really, really good point per minute guy. And then Bogdan at 7.5, more of a contrarian play for me, but still, he's also playing big minutes, even alongside Trey. So it's really those top three guys for me. I'm not going to get to Collins. There's no one else I've mentioned on Atlanta. All right, New York and Memphis. So what we got to talk about is Noel got injured today, so I think that's going to make a guy like Taj Gibson, assuming he starts, one of the better value plays to the board. He played 32 minutes last game. Only went for 12 fantasy points, I know, but if he starts again at base, or if he starts this game at mid-price, I'm going to have some interest there in Taj Gibson. Also, that is boosted Julius Randle. He'll play more at the 5-2, so when Taj is not out there, Randle will play the 5 most likely. So I do like Randle, good amount there at the top. This game should stay close. And then Derrick Rose was super low owned. Mentioned him as a nice GPP play today. Went for 41 fantasy points. I think he's a solid GPP play again. Should play about 30 minutes. A guy that is a good scorer, can do some of the peripheral stats. So that's what I'm at for the Knicks. Moving on to Memphis. Not much here in a tough matchup. JV for tournaments, but that's it. If Grayson Allen's out, yes, you can play Desmond Bane at 3-3. He played 31 minutes and went for 12 fantasy points. A lower usage guy, but at least in play if he does start. Philadelphia and Chicago, once again, Joel Embiid for me, especially if Vooch is out. We're waiting on Vooch news right now, but Embiid should play, about 35 minutes. He does have the upside here, so like Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris have been really bad recently. I don't even know if I can stomach playing either of them, and I'm probably not going to get to anyone else. I think Steph Curry actually had a pretty big game today. I want to say, he went for 35 fantasy points. I mean, he's not out of play, but he's just a guy that has to hit his shots. Like, fine value, I guess. On the Chicago side, keep an eye on Vooch. Zach LaVine doubtful. Vooch questionable. Vooch is out. I really like Thad Young and Daniel Tice. Thad Young got him a low ownership last night, went for 45 fantasy points. Daniel Tice had a somewhat disappointing game, but still, he'll play more minutes. So it would be Thad, it would be Tice. That would be two of the better plays in the mid-range if Vucevic is out. And Kobe White. So all these games with Vucevic in, has good games. 47, 31, 30, 38. I play him with Vooch out in a great matchup, and he goes for 22. Story of my week so far for NBA DFS. But if both Vooch and LaVine are out, you can use Kobe White for GPPs. And I don't know if I can stomach playing a guy like Lauri Markkanen or Patrick Williams. I mean, he's played 35 and 33 minutes last couple games. He's playable. I just never really feel good about those other secondary pieces for Chicago. 2 games left, Denver and the Lakers. So on the Denver side, Nikola Jokic at 10-9. I think is once again a pretty safe spend up with some upside. Sure, matchup against Lakers may not be the best, but it's just, with Jamal Murray out, with Will Barton out, Jokic has insane usage. And MPJ at 8.4 has been their clear number 2. He's a guy that's averaging like about 40 fantasy points a game. I think he's a fine GPP play. I just don't trust the rest of the Nuggets. I just don't trust Gordon, Dozier, Campazzo, Austin Rivers. If you want to take a shot on one of those guys, sure. I tried playing Campazzo after previous games, 32, 24, 48, 22. And then I play him and he goes for 17. It just, again, he'll play the minutes, but the Denver secondary plays are so hard to trust. And the Lakers side, they get killed by a super short-handed Toronto team. I have no idea what's going on with this Lakers team. Also, LeBron James didn't play a ton of minutes, which was what I was worried about. Let me see how many minutes he finished with tonight. He finished with 28 minutes. So, that's not going to get it done. Maybe they just kept him out because it was a back-to-back, but THT did play 22 off the bench. This Lakers team is struggling right now. LeBron, AD, fine contrarian spend up, so I'm not going to get to Drummond. And THT got some decent minutes on the bench of 4.1K. Fair contrarian value play, but Lakers team, again, a little bit hard to trust right now. And finally, San Antonio. So Derek White out, DeJounte Murray currently questionable. If DeJounte Murray's out, you can look to DeMar DeRozan. Even in a tough matchup, he'll play 35-plus minutes. He was rested tonight. And then, Lonnie Walker, I think, is decent value. He's been playing well recently. I think he's someone you could look to. Maybe like Patty Mills as well. And then like guys like Rudy Gay, Keldon Johnson, keep an eye on what they do with the starting lineup. Possible value there as well. But Jakob Poeltl, I'm not really on Eubanks or Gorgie Jang for this one. And finally, the Utah Jazz. So still no Mitchell, still no Conley. Gobert, again, his role doesn't change much. Clarkson feels a little bit pricey, but it's still viable for tournaments because he's going to get a ton of shot attempts up. And when he does have a good shooting game, he can go for 40 plus, 50 plus. It's kind of the same with Bojan Bogdanovic. Super reliant on the scoring. He had a good shooting game last game, so he went for 46. So like him and Clarkson, I put in the same boat as more GPP plays. I'll say Ingles is more the cash game play because he can do more of the peripheral stats. Even though he's kind of been a little bit disappointing recently, I still think he's a safer option in the mid-range. Royce O'Neill also will play the minutes, but low usage guy. Yang, a little bit frustrating, only played 24 minutes in a close game last game. That's not great to see. Still not out of play, but not someone I love, and I'm just not going to get to anyone else here for the Jazz. So that is going to do it for the video today, guys. Let's pray for some better luck this week. Man, you can just tell my voice. Like, it has been a super, super frustrating week of NBA DFS, guys. Just all injuries, all random blowouts. Sucks because that can happen. Just hoping the luck can turn around. Hoping the luck can turn around for you guys as well. But yeah, as always, I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check it out. Thanks again. Have a great night, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream.